This is the time, of course, I bring in the lovely certified human resource professional in Kenya, Dorcas Wainaina, who is also the first ever lady to occupy the position of the executive director of the Institute of Human Resource Management in Kenya. That's, of course, a body that governs the human resource. Mazeni mekram. She's also she received the Order of the Grand Warrior. She has a lot of titles. Executive Director, pleasure to have you. And she has a huge tournament coming up this weekend at Vetlab. Dorcas Karibu, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
Why golf? Why golf? How is it related? Why? What are you achieving to achieve? What are you aiming to achieve at the end of the day when you have this beautiful tournament at Vetlab, which you have you humbly invited me, and of course I'll humbly come and play.
Thank you, Tony, very much for having me. Why golf? Let me start first by saying that the Institute of Human Resource Management, every July, we celebrate it as IHRM month. And this is the time when we sensitize the public about who we are as an institute and what we do. We regulate HR, the profession in this country, of course. Again, we celebrate ourselves as HR professionals in the organizations. But most importantly, it's important to also let everyone know that the key drivers of business are people, and they're experts behind them. And these are HR professionals. Now, why golf? Golf is one of the games we want to project this HR month of July because we want to take ourselves to where policymakers are. Just let everybody know that the people that play golf are influencers. So, Tony, you're an influencer.
Thank you.
People are policymakers, and that's why we want to take HR and IHRM to the golf course at Vetlab on 27th, this Saturday, yes. And everybody's invited to come there.
Very certainly. And you play golf. I have said that. Perhaps they think I'm joking. You need just to effort. You need to. No. You play golf. How often do you play golf? Where do you play golf? Playing golf, handicap? No, yeah. Because people need to know, because not many ladies love this.
I don't even have a handicap, but I play golf, and it's my favorite game. I would watch it throughout when it's on CNN and aired, and I hope you start airing it at K24 so that I keep watching.
When you sponsor it, of course, we will air it very well.
Yeah. When I get to the time, like tomorrow, I'm going to tee off at some point at Vetlab as I wait for Saturday. Yes. But it's a game that requires a lot of thought and a lot of focus. So there are games are not just games. There's so much that go into it. But besides that is golf is not just golf. Every other game or sport that is played in the world today, we would like the youth and the young people to look at it as actually a way to create meaningful employment, to earn income. You know, if you focus on it and you make it a thorough, game for you, whether it is soccer, whether it's golf. In fact, most pro golfers in this country were caddies. A caddie is somebody who just carries that bag around with the clubs. But they are pros today, or professionals, if you like, and they're earning income out of it. So we should also start thinking about a future of work where the creative space, which includes sport, is going to be an employment generation space for our youth in this country as well.
Very true. Very eloquent there. However, in terms of golf teaches a lot about discipline, because when you're going to play golf, certainly you have to have certain things, you have to abide by certain rules, you have to observe time, and these things, of course, they help you in certain areas across all life. So golf is not an elitist sport. It can be played by anyone.
Certainly. Thank you, Tony, for bringing that up. Actually, we need to break the myth about golf being an elitist sport. The people that are on golf courses are just ordinary people. But because the mindset has already been created over time, then everybody believes that's not for me, for somebody else. In fact, historically, golf was played by ordinary citizens in a country, or just ordinary villagers, and they used to use wooden clubs to play it. Then it progressed like any other game. If somebody says that it's elitist, then what would be soccer? It's also the same way the players that play can equally be considered elitist. So golf is not an elitist game. Our young people, the youth, should explore golf as a game that can actually lead to them becoming professionals in it. We just watched that young man at 30 who is handicap 5. I mean, he's headed to being a pro in golf already. So our youth should think about it that way. But it's not more the youth really, it's more these clubs to open up this is space for ordinary mwananchi to know that this is a game you can sample. But sometimes perhaps it's a mindset change about what this game is all about. It's for everybody, but we also have limited golf courses as well. But IHRM is hosting the first ever golf tournament at Vetlab. And Vetlab has one of the best golf courses, and we know that in this country. And so we would like to see everybody there on 27th. If you don't come to tee off with us, but you can have a dinner with us at the end of that game on that day.
Yes, there is dinner. My people from my village, tunapenda kukula.
Msikuje wengi, mkuje kiasi.
Of course, my director uko na hizo pictures za IHRM nilikuwa nimekutayarishia Monyole. Ni nini utaki kuplay? That tournament of course has attracted very many top golfers. What are prizes on offer? How many are you expecting, and how will it be? Are we invited besides coming to it?
Oh, Tony, you know, we already have about 300 golfers coming to play. The dinner, we'll have as many as we will have. Of course, you are invited, and everybody else, all members of IHRM are invited to come and join in the tournament, and also to have a meal at the end of that, and have some drinks at the end of that. But also it's important for me to mention, it's not just about golf in this July month, it's also that we are holding a career fest at the Chancellor's Court, University of Nairobi, and we are looking for every youth everywhere to come and join during this career festival.
When is it?
It's on 31st of July. We want to talk to you about careers. We want to give you guidance. We want to coach you. We want to help you with your CV, clean it up, and tell you about where the world of work is headed. And Oga Obina will be hosting that. So while we are talking serious matters of career, we also realize that our youth like to laugh. They like to be happy amidst serious matters. They were not born in the 70s like myself, who are too serious about matters. But how can we use the creatives as well amidst serious business to talk about? But also that last week we held actually a sensitization breakfast about disability and how we can support people living with disabilities. Because the question is, how do we enable or disabled individuals that are living with disabilities? And do we know that people who look like Tony could actually be having a disability and we don't see it, and we still don't support them? Yeah. But we've also have had a series of CSR activities. We have visited a children's home in Eldoret, in Mombasa, and provided supplies. We've had a career festival in Kisumu, in Kakamega. So these are activities across the country during the month of July. It's just that the culmination of that is the golf tournament. And we need everybody to come and tee off, and that's why we want to demystify that even in HR we play golf with style, we tee off with style.
Umesikia? I've been called a star.
You are a star.
That, of course, is very true. It's very important. For the young, if you cannot make it at Vetlab this Saturday, then you're definitely on the 31st at the University of Nairobi, Chancellor's Court, you said.
Yes.
That's where you need to come. After we've played golf, we are headed there. And we said Oga Obina will be there, of course, to facilitate it. And this is this golf tournament, besides giving us a chance to nurture ours, I'm playing off handicap 18.
You're doing well.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach.
Well.
Yeah,
you're doing very well. You want to be a pro.
Yeah, I want to be a
5.
pro. Yes.
The shortest time possible.
How often are we having this tournament? Oh, are we going to have it annually? Are we going to have it? Because with this kind of activity, I'm sure you'll be having it annually.
It's a good question, and we would like to continue to actually hold it. You know, going to the golf course, really, like I said earlier, you have individuals who are policymakers, who are influencers in our country and in the circles of business. And so you want to have conversations with them about what really is it that they consider a critical role of HR within businesses. What do they think are the best policies that can support workplaces and how we treat those that work with us? But also, more importantly, that we want to continue to have conversations that the places of work versus workplace is a differentiation we must all understand. A workplace and a place of work are different. A place of work can actually be on my bed and I can deliver. Sure. And that's where the future is headed. If we continue to emphasize and be wallowing around an 8 to 5 behind a concrete wall and a desk, and yet the way the millennials are looking at work is changing, then we are going to be stuck in a space that cannot work for us. They want to have a gig in the morning and they want to go on a road trip in the afternoon, but they will have delivered. We want to start thinking about output as opposed to individuals seated behind a desk. It's not about time, it's about the output that we get out of the work. And that is what we call productivity as well.
Dorcas Wainaina, Certified Human Resource Professional of Kenya.
CHRPK.
SCHR, the Order of the Grand Warrior. She has, of course, been worked for World Vision, being the first lady as the advisor international. Yes, back in the first, of course, lady to work there. She has worked with the United Nations. She has, I can say so much. She has achieved so much. And I also heard that she likes being as a leader. Are you going to run for office one of these days? One of the political offices?
Oh gosh, Tony. But let me say that, you know, during the Darfur crisis in 2004, I worked and lived in Khartoum in Sudan. Yes. And I've also worked in Somalia in places like Wajid and Baidoa. But it's also important when I share this experience so that I can shift from one location to another and just fit in as well. Hardship, softer, easy, and all of that. But I've worked across countries in Africa, including in the US, Latin America, etc. The experiences are not more about the number of years, but the quality of the experience that I've come out with. But that also our youth can equally think about opportunities across our borders, not necessarily within our country, but also that our government already has this initiative through the National Employment Authority to support our youth to go to other countries to be able to get opportunities to be in gainful employment. But more importantly, that we want our youth, as they think about the creative space, that sports is one of those. And golf is one of those.
Very true. Where can you be contacted? How can anyone contact you on matters of human resource and all that? It's very important. Social media, any other platform, and physical offices, it's important.
Thank you. Our offices are at Cardinal Otunga Plaza, 6th floor. That's where we are based. We are on Facebook as IHRM. We are on Twitter as at IHRM. And we're on Instagram as well. But I'm also on Facebook and Twitter, and somebody can search me out and see me there. We can talk golf.
Yeah, and check out her photos as well.
And check out my photos as well.
Ashaenda Mombasa.
Oh gosh, Tony.
Thank you very much, Dorcas.
But tell the youth to come to the Career Festival at the Chancellor's Court, University of Nairobi. It will be very important. It's free. Oga Obina will be there. We will have, you know, artists playing music, poets as well, but we'll also be discussing serious matters on careers and what exactly should be considered as work. Sometimes we are claiming I'm not employed, yet you actually are running an Uber and you're in a gainful employment. It's giving you income. So also to demystify some of this, because work is not about 8 to 5 in an office as a CEO as myself. There is more to define as work in the world of today.
Very true.